don't know if anyone's there yet. Hey, Paul. Hey, Steve. Nothing. People are watching.
I didn't know you started.
So, yeah, I'm going to bake some scones. Some of you already know how to do this. Shannon's over there. But she's going to go to bed soon. Hi, March.
I didn't know you were doing that. I thought you were just talking to yourself.
Shannon just thought I was talking to myself. Not doing a drum solo, but I could. But I thought that would be boring. So, what we'll do, let's go to the fridge and get my stuff that I need from the fridge. There's really only one thing I need from the fridge. It's a thing of cream. That's all I need. All right. So, we're going to make some lemon scones. We're going to start with some lemon zest. The good zester is broken. So, that was entertaining. I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. I have this great zester I've had for a while. It's like this. And move you down here. And it zests like this. Cuts off little bits. It's a little more work than my other zester. I think when this is all over, I'll need to go invest in a new one. So I'm going to do 2 lemons. Two lemons, and then I'm going to chop that zest up so that it's not just big chunks of lemon zest. If you have a better zester, you can totally use that, because that is what I would do if it wasn't broken. Hey, Phil. What's going on? I was kind of hoping to get a zester for Christmas, but that didn't happen. I even asked for it. Oh, Isaac's there. Awesome. So that's my lemon zest. It's all zested, chopped up, and I'm just going to put it in my mixing bowl. Like so. Now, I'm going to add 15 ounces of cream. And I have a handy dandy scale, kitchen scale. Well, that actually works. That's good.
I made it for you. You think you have to use it.
That's perfect. All right. So I have this handy dandy kitchen scale.
Yeah? No, we're not going
I'll
outside.
put my mixing bowl on it and tare it so that it's zeroed out. And just pour in 15 ounces of cream. Hmm. 15. Ounces of cream. 15 ounces of
Make
cream.
him seasick.
Oh, I'm not supposed to make you seasick. I'll do what I can.
Phone around a lot, it makes me want to throw up.
But you save the cream because you're going to need it later. I'm going to turn the oven on. To 375. Let that start warming up. So I have the cream and the zest in the bowl. I then tear that out again so that it zeroes out again. And then I add flour. So let's take a walk. Get some flour. Shannon doesn't want to be in this because she's already ready for bed and in her bathrobe. So, get some flour. Hey, Jack.
Who's Jack?
Mr. McKay.
Oh, I didn't know Mr.
So I have flour, and I will do 15 ounces of flour. We'll put you down here. Back in the same bowl, 15 ounces of flour. I always do weight with this recipe. It works much better. I've tried to do it to measure out and do it in cups and ounces or cups and stuff, but it doesn't work correctly. Can never get it right. There, perfect. Sorry. So now I have 15 ounces of flour and this cream and the zest in the bowl. I'm going to add 3 ounces of sugar. So let's go get sugar.
This is why I thought you would just spell your ingredients.
Shannon says I should have gotten all my ingredients first, but that would have been like too staged, and I can't do that. Everything's got to be on the fly. I see her cringing behind me.
Foolishly thought you'd be prepared.
I have done this without flour, with gluten-free flour, and
Was that almond flour?
No, that girl brought.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't almond flour,
Oh.
something else, but it was gluten-free flour, and it did work.
Just the texture was different.
Yeah, the texture was different, but it does work. It still works. Yes, no, actually, we never did this recipe back at when I worked at Whole Foods. I learned this recipe when I went to culinary school, and I've been making it ever since. So, I do 3 ounces of sugar. And that's it. But again, I'm going to leave the sugar out because I'll need that at the end. Now I need baking powder and salt.
Do we have more kosher salt?
No, that's it. I'll have to get some more.
This is pretty low.
Okay, baking powder and salt. I need 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder. Nice little baking powder.
Oh, we're not going outside. Not now. Maybe tomorrow.
Yes, I make cakes too. But I was super busy. Yeah, that's right. I remember that. I remember that, Patty. Yeah, Shannon, you love. Oh, they're loving your commenting in the back.
Oh, I didn't know they could hear me.
They can hear you apparently.
Oh.
And then 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I use kosher salt. I've always used kosher salt.
Because you're so kosher.
Because I'm super kosher. All right. That's pretty much the whole recipe. It looks now like that. And so now I just put it on the mixer just for a couple seconds. Well, maybe more than a couple seconds. 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder. It's on the, I gave you a list. Everything was there. All right, so I usually mix it up a little bit by hand first.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, I never explained stuff like this. That's why I'm asking.
I like to do that because I feel like I get the baking powder and the salt mixed in better if I just kind of mix it by hand a little first.
Okay.
Kenzie's home.
I'm gonna eat.
Now, put it on the mixer. You can actually mix this by hand. You just fold it, stir it by hand until it's all together.
She makes me feel cold.
I have done it that way. This is obviously faster. The trick with this is you don't want to overmix it. You just mix it a very short time. So I'll show you how long I mix it. That's it. That was it. That's all I do. And now it comes together. I'll show you. I'll pull it out. And then here we go. All right. Now. Forgot I still needed some flour. So I'm going to take a little bit of flour, put it on the board. Take all the dough out, put it on the board here.
So I just mopped and swept and cleaned all day. I moved boxes. Disgusting. Moved boxes and that's what came out of it. I cleaned it. And that's about it. And the rest of that was just clean. It's ready to go through. Just break the level.
And that's the dough. Looks like that.
Yeah. That's mine.
All right, so just like this, you don't need it at all. You just kind of push it together. Oh, hey, they can still hear you guys talking.
Oh, do we need to stop talking?
No, I don't care. Do you still want to hear them talking? Because I don't care. Or is it distracting? Shannon did not clean all day. That was actually Kenzie, my bonus daughter.
At work, not here.
Nah, not here. She never cleans here. That's not true. That's not true. She does clean here. She does. She's a big help.
Dishes very often.
Dishes. Okay, so I have this pile of dough. I just kind of push it all together. I cut it in half into two. You can actually cut it into 3 or 4. Depends on how big you want your final scones to be. So then they have 2 balls. I've got 2 balls of dough.
Oh, I was going to say that's what she said.
And then I just flatten them out into a nice disc. about an inch thick or a little less than an inch thick. I cut that into 8 pieces.
Oh, I thought you used the bench scraper.
No,
Oh,
it's too short.
you need to do it before.
So I cut them into little triangles like that. Okay.
I've seen scone pans when they put the dough in and it comes out that shape. You know, like brownie pans that make the individual brownies. I've seen scone pans that do that.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I've seen those.
why do you want to make individual brownies? I don't get that.
But some people don't want the. Some people like the edge pieces all, and that way you get more edge pieces.
Well, I like the edge pieces, but I'm not going to buy a special pan. Just
I like the middle pieces because I like the gooey
Well,
brownie
that's
pieces.
why it works out for us. I like the crust on the bread. You like the grody middle part.
Does Shannon usually flatten your balls?
No.
Nope.
That sounds painful.
That was David Taylor.
Oh, no, I don't flatten your balls.
She's gonna tell your stepmom.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to tell her that. I'm not going to see her for a month anyway.
Yeah.
She'll have made like 50 quilts by then.
Yeah. Either you or her.
No, that's all she does, I think, is sew. And she stays up really late doing it, too.
All right, so I'll cut the second one up. Actually, from here, once they're cut, you can actually throw them in the freezer and bake them the next day, and I do that a lot. If I have to make a whole bunch for something, I'll do it that way.
You're being oddly anal with the way you're laying them out.
I'm always anal with the way I lay them out because of how they rise when they bake.
Okay.
And I will show you that right now.
I'm not letting you out.
I always lay them out like this,
We can go out tomorrow.
just so that when they rise and when they bake, they don't bake together too much.
Go out at bedtime. Because going out
Graphite wants to go out, but he's not going out.
unless you take him out.
Hey, John. How are you? All right, so now we have the cream from earlier. Pour in a little bowl. And I just brush some cream on top of all of the scones. I can't send these out. They'll be bad by the... Do I ever add anything else to the scones? Okay, yes, sometimes I do raisins. Okay, if you're going to do raisins or dried fruit, I usually put...
We've done apricots, cranberries.
Yeah, apricots, cranberries,
Almonds.
almonds. I like dried blueberries. I am a man of some talents, not many. Let's see, raisins, currants, which are traditional. I like dried blueberries, as I said. When you add dried fruit, you do about 6 ounces of dried fruit.
No, we're not going out. No. We've been going out in the morning, but we just didn't go out.
Corona
today.
scones, yes.
We'll go out tomorrow.
Chip is late, which is weird because that's usually Bob. Chip is always early. Isn't that right, Chip?
Oh, I thought damn people were always late. Or is that
No,
just you?
Chip is always on time. I'm late sometimes.
90% of the time.
90% of the time.
What time do you have to be there? I don't know. Well, what time is that? Oh,
All right,
I don't know. We're
so
at
they're all
6.
covered in cream. Now I'm gonna dust them with a little sugar.
Yeah, could do a giant spoonful like Mang does.
Yeah, I know somebody who does a giant spoonful. She'll remain nameless, although Shannon just said Mang, so it's Mang.
until they're edible.
20 minutes.
Is that a dad 20 minutes?
That's a dad 20 minutes. All right, so now they're all dusted with the cream.
So it's a variable 20 minutes.
And they look like that. Cream and sugar on all the scones. Other thing I've done here, which is very important, is I've used 2 pans. Gives a little bit of space between the little air space, so it keeps the bottom of the scones from browning too fast before the top browns. That's a tip. If you have a insulated baking pan, that works fine. You don't need to do that, but I don't, so I create my own. Then they go into the oven for, we'll start with 20 minutes. May go a little more. Start 20 minutes at 375 on convection if you have it. If not, do them at 400 for 18 minutes. And then, Angie, you did not learn that much. Convection is on. So, I could just sit here and talk for 20 minutes, but that would be boring. Apple pizza next. Yeah, I could do pie dough next. I'll have to get ingredients, but I can make pie dough and do apple pizzas. That's a fun one.
Oh, you're cranky.
I can also do, I can do whatever. Just let me know what you want to do. It's boring being at home all the time. And I could play the drums, but that would be really boring for you.
And really loud.
And really loud for Shannon, and she's not into that.
Well, if you warn me, I can wear hearing protection.
Yeah, Shannon could just wear hearing protection.
Well, you have to warn me. You just don't warn me normally.
All right.
No.
I taught your wife how to make chocolate souffle. She already knows, Steve.
She wants you to do it for her.
She just, yeah. She just wants me to do it for her. And besides, no one else is here, so I have to eat them all. Cooking with Kilted Boy. I'm not even wearing a kilt right now. What am I wearing? Pants.
What?
All right, you can check back in 20 minutes or so, and I should have fresh scones. Wait, let's say half an hour just to be safe, because that way I can eat them. So I will see you in a half an hour. Okay? Half hour good? Half hour good? Good.